32. Also, you can get in touch on their website.
OK, Australia's corporate regulator is this morning defending its record after a damning report by the Senate Economic Committee. ASIC claims it's in court pursuing wrongdoing almost every day, and it's already working on recommendations from an earlier government review. Well, to discuss all this, Committee Chair Andrew Bragg joins us from Canberra. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Lisa. How are you?
Good, good. Scathing findings about ASIC in this report. Do they all stack up?
Well, unfortunately, the key role ASIC has is law enforcement, and that's not what it's been good at doing. It's been good at doing other things, like running around Parliament House, trying to influence politicians, but it hasn't been very good at putting people in jail. Well,
we were talking to our business reporter, Peter Ryan, earlier today, and he said that ASIC has often liked to position itself as the tough cop on the beat. Is that then just spin? Is that your suggestion?
Well, 5 years ago, they made 80 referrals to the Director of Public Prosecutions, and last year they only made 20. So I think we want to have a country where people fear the corporate cop, that if they do the wrong thing, that they'll be thrown into the clink.
2022-23, though, they had hundreds of criminal charges. They had dozens of convictions. Isn't that a sign of progress?
No, I don't think so, because they're actually going backwards, and there is a slew of corporate crime in Australia, and there are so many people who've been done over by financial services businesses, corporations. There are so many whistleblowers who've come out of the woodwork. So there's a lot of unhappy people out there that feel that ASIC has not been effective as a corporate cop.
Given you're the chair of this committee, was this always the way it's going to go, given that you have been highly critical of ASIC? Reform at ASIC has been your mission.
Yeah.
Is there any surprise here?
Well, it puts together a coherent plan for making ASIC more successful. It is the biggest securities regulator almost anywhere in the world. So it needs to be focused, or the new bodies need to be focused on clear outcomes. This is a report that has a lot of support across the Parliament. I'm hopeful it could be adopted by any party in the next Parliament.
You had some Labor members, though, on the committee who rebutted some of the findings, so how come you couldn't convince them of it all?
Well, they didn't do a dissenting report, which is commonplace in parliamentary politics, and nor did the Greens. So it has a high degree of support across the community. Look, a lot of people took risks in coming forward. There are a lot of brave whistleblowers out there. People have lost their careers, lost their mental health to try and do the right thing, and that's why we've also recommended there be stronger protections for whistleblowers, and in fact that whistleblowers should be rewarded.
How would you rate the culture at ASIC?
Well, its own staff have said that only 20% of people think it's a good place to work. So its own staff voting against it. It's a very unhappy workplace. There's been a massive squabble amongst the commissioners over the last 2 years, which has been in the media. It's been a very unseemly workplace, I think.
How would you break it up? How is that actually going to work?
Well, quite simply, you'd have a companies regulator which enforces the corporate law on things like insider trading, and then you have a separate financial services agency which looks after enforcement in financial services, so financial advisors and the like.
Yeah, the report's a bit thin on the details, though, isn't it?
Well, I think it's a very clear idea, though, and all you do is separate the functions. I mean, it's way too big to be successful. Look, I actually feel sorry for ASIC in the sense that I think Parliament has made its job unworkable. Every time there's been a problem in the last 20 years in corporate or financial services, it's just been lumped with ASIC. And I think it hasn't been, it's far too big to be successful.
Andrew Bragg, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks, Lisa. All the best.